custom Mega Blaster.
So I don't know if you see with this one, how it's got the big power fist and it's got like the cables coming off the back.
Oh, so it's like the Fallout fist for the whatever fucking suit of armor they call it. I forget.
Pretty much.
Power armor. Yeah.
Is it just called power armor?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Essentially, they're comically sized fists that do what cartoon fists do.
Is it like the Iron Man, like Hulk busting suit when he punches him? It's like
Not exactly.
Okay.
Do you know the character Vi from League of Legends?
No.
Okay. Well, there goes that analogy.
The only League
see.
of Legends character I know is Lena Inverse, the Dragon Slayer.
I don't even know who that is. I know the girls from that movie pop band that they made.
You mean KDA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know who they are. I know what they look like.
Well, there's
about the
Ari,
extent.
and that's about it. Sorry.
There's one with a backwards cap or a forwards cap. I forget now. But she had a face mask. And then there was another one with tails.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a fox.
So for chat, Lena Inverse is a anime character who was included in Dota, regular as Dota, the original Dota. And her kit is humongous, enormous fire blast for the ultimate, flame wave, stun, and then I think it's some sort of passive that increases something. And when I say Lena Inverse, that's because every game that is anything remotely like Dota includes a Lena Inverse character. For Heroes of New Earth, it was Pyromancer. You're always going to find a Lena Inverse in like the first gen release. They're always going to have the flame person who has flame wave, stun, and then huge final damage dealing. Just straight up. There's nothing special to it. It's literally just a ranged damage bolt. That's it. And yeah, trust me, League of Legends has that character. It's like a little flame guy. He's like a dark wizard. Anyway, don't let my history of Dotanomics derail us here. James, why don't you tell us what's happening?
Okay. So
we're at a dinner, right? We're gonna do that scene, not the other one, right? No, don't let me derail you, James. I'm trying to trick you.
I'm going to start off. So an indeterminate period of time later, Dawn finds herself in a dark place, completely unaware of how you got from where you were to where you are now, or like the last half an hour. All you know is that you are surrounded by bodies pressed into yours and this absolute stench of death and decay. And it's like you've just woken up under several bodies in a mass grave. You can feel the weight of bodies on you, and like there are a few glints of light in between gaps between the bodies, but all you can smell is that rank smell of decaying bodies, and you are under the pile.
What am I wearing?
Not, as far as you can tell, not much.
Okay, so it's not like
a helmet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think by this point, Dawn has seen enough conflict, like close enough conflict, where this sort of stuff doesn't faze her as much as it would have if she was like, new, right? So she's going to do her best to like unapologetically swim, if that's the way that I would describe it.
Try and climb through, basically. Try and pull yourself off the light that would have been. Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's difficult, but not impossible. Like you feel yourself making progress as bodies sort of slough out of the way. Like it certainly, some of the bodies are in worse condition than others. Like certainly, you put your hand on something for support, and it just makes a wet squelch under your hand.
I imagine there's a lot of like putting my hand through body cavities and stuff, and okay.
But as you get closer to the light, you suddenly feel like another hand grab onto your hand, like arm to arm, and a person is physically helping pull you out. Mm-hmm. So you emerge from this pile of bodies, and it takes you a few minutes to sort of take in the scene around you. Effectively, you are standing on top of a mountain of corpses. and all around you, the entire vista is just different hills and mountains and piles of bodies. You can't see any ground underneath this macabre scene. That you can't see any horizon because at some point, certain bodies, everything is piled up high enough that you don't get a scope of where you are. All the bodies appear to have died in violence. So in gunshot injuries, burned, dismembered. Interestingly, that women seem to outnumber men about 3-1 among the bodies you can see. But there's also things like wrecked tank hulls popping out from the piles in some places. Even like bunkers that have clearly been blown apart. Their stone walls still jut up here and there. But otherwise, everything here just appears to be almost like a junkyard of human remains. But the figure that's pulled you out is when you recognise it's Ivy. Now, you looking at yourself are pretty much dressed as naked as you can get in a PG-13 film. So enough bits of white cloth to cover anything that would get senses upset, but otherwise just barefoot and covered in the muck of the bodies you had to literally swim through to get to the surface.
Am I still burned?
You still got you brought the scars you carry with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Ivy, you said, and Ivy was, she had mechanical parts, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So, I just
like the last time we saw her, basically. So,
I at first I'm taking in the scenery around me, and I look at her, and I'm just like, is there an explanation for this?
I guess so. It eludes me right now. Are you okay?
I mean, I'm not injured, but this is certainly not what I was expecting to wake up to today.
Maybe everything will make itself more clearer as time goes on. So, by the way, that's it. The other thing is that the sky here looks abnormal too. It's like a thunderstorm, but there's no sense of sound or motion. Like there's flashes of light. You don't see a sun. In fact, you're not even sure that there's no reference point of sort of lighting goes. There's no shadow at all. Does
it look like the warp? I've seen it, so
it has similar qualities. Like there's like clouds of pink and purple. It's almost like a
nebula,
like an electrical storm almost on a summer day. But yeah, you don't get the impression of you don't see a sun or any sort of point of reference that will give you a scope. And it's also not like you just don't see the weirdness that you saw in the warp either.
Okay.
Yeah, friends are the best warp adjacent.
Is there like a horizon?
Not that you can see among the various piles of bodies.
Okay. So, what are you doing here, Ivy?
I'm really here to help you.
I see. And you're here to help me make sense of this place?
It seems like the best explanation, yes. I guess, well, we can stand here or we can actually go somewhere. Why don't we start moving and start looking? Maybe we can get to a high point and try and find a better scope of where we are.
I look around for a higher point. I mean, I assume that, if you can't see a horizon, you can't see any landmarks, right?
No, that's right. But I mean, there are certainly hilltops that are higher than the hilltop you're currently on.
I see. Well, I suppose we should just make the motion of movement and see where it takes us.
Okay. She just starts wandering down so you see her go down the hill, so you go up the next hill.
Mm-hmm.
She sort of stops at the first tank hole that she sees. It's interesting. They haven't made this pattern for about 1,500 years now. Yeah, it looks pretty new, other than the whole blast marks.
Is this something that I recognize? Is this like my my brain just like recalling knowledge that I have somehow, or is this just actually Ivy here? Like, is there a way that I can work out what this is?
Give me a logic test.
Okay. Just straight.
Straight logic. Yeah.
That's disappointing. I'll spend I'll spend a fade on this. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the comment you just made about like the pattern of the tank and its age, not something that you know. You know you don't know that. Yet somehow the data has some sort of familiarity to it. Like, you know, when she says that, part of you feels like saying, "Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that looks right. I think that is an old design." So it's almost like it's. I don't ever heard of something called the Akashic Record. Are you familiar with that, Dave?
No.
So the Akashic Record is like a metaphysical concept that all humanity shares a common consciousness, and that you can access memories from other people if you learn how to actually access that record. So it's like you feel like the knowledge, you somehow acquired that knowledge by having this conversation, but more than what was the words that were just said.
All right.
Clearly, Arthur's heard of the Akashic Record. That's why I'm giggling away there.
So I'll continue past her while she's mulling about towards the the highest peak, I suppose you could call it. And without turning back or looking over my shoulder, I'll say, in terms of numbers, in terms of how you perceive logic, I've heard you talk of this before. How does this stack up? Does this make sense? Are you like able to make an equation out of this somehow?
I mean, I can make an equation of anything you like. In terms of giving you something meaningful here, nothing comes to mind. I think that, I don't know, I just feel that there is something that you need to learn here. At this point, give me a awareness roll at +10.
This I should theoretically be good at. Yeah.
Hey, okay. So as you turn back to talk to her, you sort of see behind her, like over one of the distant rises from the direction you've come, there's this sort of this darkness that is like, it's like, imagine you can emit light from behind an object, but imagine it's like darkness emitting from behind an object. And when
does darkness emit? Like that's strange.
That's what I'm saying. It obviously doesn't, but I'm saying this is how you perceive it, basically.
Okay.
So it's like a zone which sort of sucks the light out of it, and at the same time, when you see it, you hear distant sounds like grunting, animalistic sounds, predatory sounds, and almost like that sort of that sniffing sound you might pick up from like a predator trying to pick up a scent. But something definitely, and when you see it, Ivy sees it too. There's this sort of sense that there is something dark in that direction, and it's trying to find you.
Is there something on the opposite side of this, like in the polar opposite? That's okay.
No, except the polar opposite is the direction you were heading. The way. So let's go this way. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I without dropping a beat, I start running in the opposite direction as fast as I can.
Okay.
And I just say, keep up,
Okay, no worries. So yeah, you run, you hear like the sounds of her fast footfalls behind you as well. She's not as fast as you, obviously, but you manage to crest to the top of this rise. And so the first thing is you look over the rise, it seems to be more of the same in every direction. You can see more piles, and then once again, even bigger piles in the distance that would imply that although you've gotten to a higher point, there are still higher points than where you're at. And as you turn back to look for Ivy, you see that she's nowhere to be seen behind you. But then when you turn back the other direction, there's another figure standing in front of you who looks distinctly familiar. It is Nero.
Well, I didn't think I'd see you here.
Why not? I'm always with you. Come with me.
Ivy, I understand. She and I are close, but you...
Nero starts walking away after gesturing for Dawn to follow.
I look around and see if Ivy will catch up. It's like,
She's
okay.
nowhere to be seen.
I'll follow Nero silently then.
After walking for a time, Nero says, I'm curious, other than pure blind faith, why do you do anything? Why do you get up? Why do you fight? Why are you other than faith?
What a dull question, Nero. Faith is all there is. Without faith, I mean, you're simply a candle that will eventually burn out. But with faith, it's everlasting. There's a
You
guidance
seem to
there.
be
There's a
under some
warm faith.
misconception. I am not Nero.
Well, it seems like I'm eternally here to fight against you and your silly preserved ways. Perhaps you're merely just
I'm the
part of
form that
me
you have
that is
chosen.
doubt.
Dawn, I am you.
Oh.
This is what you believe your pride, your anger, and self-certainty to look like. Nero.
I can see why I hate it.
The Nero smiles, but it's Dawn's smile, not Nero's smile. It looks so sickening. It makes you're revolted looking at it. Let's walk some more. I have questions.
At this
I just
point,
silently follow. Yeah.
you get the impression, by the way, that whatever it was that was pursuing you or what it was looking for you has picked up your scent. Like you almost feel like you can sort of see the spot where you emerged from the pile, and there's something there, like something formless but dark, that is like now slowly stalking through the dunes of bodies towards where you are, trying to track you down.
You
I love
sense
that you're
it?
trying. Of course, I'd prefer if we moved a little faster than you're moving right now.
I'll match your pace. I can move exactly as fast as you do.
We both know that's a lie, and then I start running.
All right. It's Nero running, but I want you to imagine that the ragdoll skeleton has been replaced with the way that Dawn runs, and it does run exactly as fast as Dawn does. Keeps up perfectly, in fact.
The other thing is that this Nero has the jump pack on as well, so it could easily
Does it matter to you whether others believe in you or whether they believe that you're right? Do you care?
What does others have anything to do with the way that I feel about my faith or the way that I see myself? You especially should know this. Norn? I assume that's what I'll call you here.
I am you, Dawn.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Then they walk for a time more. What would you do if the rumors around your order turned out to be true? Your heart has been shaken by Miriam.
Honestly, there is an anger there that I would probably have to take out on them. And it's not something that I would ever want. They gave me Dawn will like scratch her face a little bit. And she's like, they gave me something, and I'm not sure if it's true or not. So, but the one thing I do know is true is that when I fell a creature or a heretic, that is true. That much I know. So, if they are heretical, the answer is easy. Obviously, I'm going to clean the slate. But their teachings, I'm not sure. I think I'll have to remove that as well.
Uncertainty? Doubt?
No, it's not uncertainty. I know what I need to do if they are in fact heretical.
I am your anchor, Dawn. It's okay to let me out. I yearn for it. Destruction.
I'll start running again.
Nero, Dawn model runs faster and effortlessly says, your ways may be corrupted. What your order has taught you may be twisted.
That may be so, but I am not.
But what if it is only your immense faith in the Emperor that has
I am not,
protected
Nero.
you?
You need to shut your mouth. I am not.
I am not Nero. I am you.
So she'll like stop and she'll like pick up a corpse and throw it at Nero.
When you throw it at Nero, it just passes through him. And when you turn around again, Nero is there standing next to a sheer wall made out of bodies. The wall extends in every direction, wherever you look. When you turn around, the wall's there, and so is Nero.
What are you trying to prove?
You have to climb.
I'm not doing this because of you. And I'll start climbing.
Not like that. Where do you think you are?
I won't say anything. I'll just keep climbing.
So every time you try to grab a handhold, like the flesh beneath you just comes away like rotten slime. There's no way to sort of get any purchase in this wall. It seems to defy physical climbing.
Dawn, stop using earthly means to maneuver through here. You are a soul. You do not need to navigate by terrestrial means in here, nor do you navigate by terrestrial means on the battlefield. When you are here, you can fly. Unchain your earthly tether.
So Dawn will stop climbing and just like look over it. Nero, I assume you're hovering with your jetpack or some bullshit like that.
No, he's still standing on the ground.
And how will I do that? What do you want me to do?
Believe.
I have more faith than you have in your entire body.
We have
in my
the
pinky
exact
finger.
same amount of faith, Dawn. I am you.
No. Why do you keep saying that?
Believe.
You're clearly not.
Believe.
Fine. You want me to fly? Fine. I'll fly. Look, I'm flying.
All right, spend a fate point. Not burn, spend fate point.
Okay.
And white feathered wings erupt from your back and spread out.
I sort of like, do that thing where I look over my shoulder and I like try and catch my tail a little bit. I'm just like, this isn't Nero being right. This is Dawn being right because you're not actually here.
This place is a trial, Dawn. One that each soul like you must pass through.
All right, then, Dawn, what do I do?
You must climb.
Fine. And then I'll fly up as fast as I can.
When you
No
look
worries.
back, Nero's gone.
So you land on top of the pile, having traversed that. You sense that the harrowing spirits are still after you, but standing there in front of you where you land is Pierre.
Looking good, Dawn.
Pierre is probably like lounging about in some sort of lounging chair, like ones you see either at like a therapist clinic or something, lounging about with like a hand with grapes that he's like dropping into his mouth almost.
Like hedonism bot from Futurama.
Roll out the last gurney.
And different like pieces of parchment and quills floating about, being signed as each one kind of disappears and pops into place. Hello. Good to see you, Don. Finally got your wings.
What are you, the ghost of Christmas past?
More of present, but I understand your humor there.
All right. So, I have a thing after me. Can we walk and talk?
Sure. Like the chair actually like floats up a little bit and starts to hover towards where you're towards the direction you want to walk.
Okay. So, what great lesson are you going to impart on me?
More so how your being works now. As you may know, you're not quite where you were before when you went to the shrine. Well, your body is still at the shrine, but mentally you're projected somewhere else. Or spiritually, obviously.
Yeah, starting to call this my corpse party.
You'd be correct in some ways, though, as for your case, you being a living saint, physical bodies are, well, quite literally beneath you at the moment. As your body can be destroyed, but your soul will always remain. Simply just persisting beyond your mortal coil.
So you're
And
trying to
with-
tell me that I should take it on because is that the lesson?
No, it's more of you may lose your body, it being either crushed, blown to bits, vaporized, etc., etc. Though, with the support of the Emperor, you can potentially create a new body.
Okay.
You see, there's what you are now, your soul, there's not much difference between the ichor that suffices as the soul of a living saint and the demonic entities of the warp, only that the purposes define you. When a saint falls into battle, their soul attempts to remake your body so you can, well, fight another day. Only when the living saint's will has been lost is when they will not, well, make a new body. They seemingly disappear, even though they're always present. Much like you.
I mean, in a weird way, that makes sense. I mean, from what I've heard about how living saints tend to be larger than life and immune to most ills and woes that plague normal man. Makes sense.
Tell me, have you ever worried about your own death?
No. I mean, maybe before I knew the ways of battle, but it didn't really, like, I never really thought of it as like an ending, more of like a page in a book, you know? Sometimes it continues and sometimes it doesn't. That's about the extent I gave it. Though I wasn't really worldly back then.
In your case, you don't have to worry about, well, you are correct. It will be a page in your book as your death, but only merely that. Just a mere blank page till the next chapter starts, where, as for me, Nero, or anybody else, that would be it. That would be the end of their story. And soon they would make a sequel of their children that people don't really like as much. That's besides the point.
Yes, that does seem to affect you a lot, doesn't it?
I don't really have children, but sure.
I mean, you are a child of someone who is far greater.
That hurts a lot.
Well, I mean, I am talking to myself
really
here.
hurt.
Yeah, so he talks a lot, and now I have an opportunity to talk back, so I'm going to take it. If you don't mind me, Dawn.
That's fine, Dawn. Dawn understands. But regardless, as I said, there's no real way for you as a living saint to truly die. You either will find the will to return and fight, or be lost amongst the warp. Duty or damnation.
You see. Oh, in a way, that's kind of refreshing. It means I can fully commit myself to engaging heretics, I guess.
Tell me, knowing what you know now after I told you, or well, yourself told you, however you want to look at it, if you had the option of a normal death over service and eventual damnation, would you take it?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? I live to serve.
How will you deal with the fact that everyone around you will eventually age and die and will always feel as if they're somehow separate to you?
They have a purpose too. And their purpose is to serve mankind. Tools of the Emperor, you know.
And what sort of bits of your normal life would you like to retain after taking this mantle of a living saint?
Bits of my normal life. Well, honestly, I never really considered myself having much. But if I had to put something down, I mean, I would like to eventually perhaps have at least an entourage or close friends that I can be truthful with. Maybe a little bit to help share the burden. There's a lot going on in my mind right now, especially about the Cleansing Flame Order. And while I would love to be able to take it all on myself, ultimately, like, I would be literally burning away countless chapters of my book if I did this. I would like to replace them, those burn chapters, with companions, people that I can trust. Maybe that's asking too much.
And despite being one of the Emperor's chosen servants, you more than likely won't be able to see him ever. I'm not sure. How would you feel about that?
To never see him? I mean, I haven't seen him thus far, but I feel him in everything I do. He literally embodied me at one point. That's as far as I'm concerned, that's far better feeling than seeing someone.
So you've dropped into a depression between the hills here, and in front of you, affected the bodies are piled in such a way that there is a gap. So they form an arch into a cave that leads down, but the entrance to the cave has blue crackling warp fire covering it. Yeah, somehow you get this impression that the next set of answers is in that cave.
Well, Thorne, this is where I leave you.
Good luck, and keep a sane mind. He'll start floating away in his chair.
I've never seen him lay like that before. I don't know where I got that picture. And then Dawn will walk into the cave.
So as you go close to the fire, like you feel its heat, and it's not a pleasant heat. It's like this is like the heat of the archenemy, the heat of chaos, and you feel like if you were to put your hand into it, that it would burn not just your skin but your soul beneath. But yeah, this is not a test of endurance. This is something specifically trying to prevent you from progressing.
As in, I can't walk around it or go through it?
No, it covers the whole entrance to the cave. Because Pondo forgot to give you one clue.
Whoops.
Okay. Can I study it? Can I try and understand what it is that I'm looking at?
So give me a +10 perception roll.
Awareness, you mean?
Awareness, sorry.
Or just
No,
okay.
awareness.
Oh, come on. I'll re-roll that. 0.1. Jesus. Okay. So I got one fate point left after this. Hope I don't die. Okay, 2.9.
Okay, so you're looking at this flame, looking around. Something sort of dawns upon you now, that among the various bodies on the ground, you see commonality. Like, you see one face, and you look around and you actually spot that same face on another corpse. So even though there are literally millions of corpses here, there are probably only a few thousand individuals whose corpses are repeated multiple times, but with different causes of death, different injuries. And as you look closely, you actually see your own face among some of the bodies. And, once again, with, sometimes, literally only a torso with a head and an arm remaining, other times, stabbed through, other times, shot. But there are definitely dead Dawns here. One thing you recognize about almost all of the Dawns is they all wear an armor or pieces of an armor that is consistent. Some sort of red-colored power armor that is covered in votive designs, purity seals, and although, like in almost every single case, the armor is their death has resulted in damage to the armor. You're confident you could piece together enough of this armor from among the bodies that are here to make a full set that's intact.
I mean, that makes sense. So I will go ahead and combine as much as I can, I suppose.
Okay. Give me a Imperial Creed roll at +20 as well. Do this.
4.
Hey, okay, so once you pull it out and sort of paste it out, ready to be donned, you've seen this armor before in friezes or paintings of Saint Helena.
Okay, that's okay. Her armor then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
does it fit?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. And with the armor on, you're able to pass through the flame with it. You're unmolested. It can't burn through the sanctified armor. You push your way through this cave for a bit, and before it finally emerges to light again. And waiting for the other end of the cave is Adrian.
Sister Dawn, you've finally arrived.
You know me. Punctual.
Always in the right place at the right time.
So it would seem.
Except for here.
Oh.
There is no time here. Except for all of the times that you have been here and will be here again. You've seen your bodies?
Yes, but I've also seen clearly visions of other people that shouldn't be here too.
All living saints come to this place. Each of their bodies, including your own, are a battle turned, saved from defeat. A world conquered. A sector saved through your sacrifice. All of these bodies represent victories of the Imperium.
That's a lot of victories.
And countless more to come. I feel that you have sensed the most testing obstacle in the path before you. Not here, but in reality. You will be alone. Each reincarnation, you must reestablish your connections to humanity. That is why we are here.
I see. How many times have I been through this, would you say?
I can't say. Perhaps another companion may know. But while I am you, I'm also me. I'm the part of me that resides within your soul.
When I pass on, or when I die and I start a new chapter,
yes.
Do I bring you with me? Are you reincarnated in some form as well?
I think Adrian kind of smiles and laughs and says, no, when you die, if I'm still alive, perhaps we would find each other again. But once I die, I am gone.
I see. So I must then, I guess, brand my companions to my soul in some form.
They represent your humanity. And when you lose those connections, that is the first step towards losing yourself to what hunts you.
Oh, that foul beast will never catch me. I'm too fast. Too agile.
And I think perhaps your want or need to belong may have guided or blinded you to perhaps the hints of corruption that you didn't see in your order growing up.
Yes, I feel like I'm the horse that is being whipped. I understand. I know. You and everyone else in this damn place keeps telling me this, and I understand now what it is that I need to do. I need to pick my companions better.
Perhaps. What of this Talon Balewing we hunt?
Well, that I am also unsure of. He seems to come to me and thinks that I am there for his personal bidding, which is fine, I guess. But as up until this point, I've followed the lead of another, as was my predicament to do. And he felt it was unnecessary to follow in the crazy dreams of one of his companions. So, if the tale on Balewing is important, then I believe that the God Emperor will guide me to him when the time is right. I have faith that no stone that needs to be turned will remain unmolested if it is necessary.
And if you could choose, what your final fate would be? What would it be?
I don't see myself having an ending point. I will continue to serve the God Emperor for as long as he needs servants, which I believe will be forever, eternity, and then some.
Are you ready then to accept the mantle of a living saint?
She cracks her neck, looks around at the pile of corpses underneath her feet. Yes. I believe I've reached an epiphany.
So on this walk, you basically you come to the edge of this expanse. So effectively, you've reached the. Imagine this is like a disc floating in space, and as you crest the next hill, you can now see the edge before you, and beyond it, it just drops off, and there is no ground, there is no horizon. It's just that same pink, electrified sky, and now you're like the edge of this object. You're able to get a better scope that is just like effectively a disc floating in nothingness that is piled high with bodies, and you can sort of now see over the past rise this darkness rolling down the hill towards you now that you have got no further to go.
A leap of faith, huh?
No. Take up your weapon and stop running.
Oh, you'll have me fight the beast then.
There's now a sword in your hand, not one you recognize, although it is one you recognize. Give me a Imperial Quay roll plus 20.
Says James as I fail this roll.
So you've seen this blade depicted before in books. It's a holy relic known as a blade of Admonition. Along with being a blessed power sword, it has the unique ability that when you look at somebody's reflection in its blade, you can instinctively see the corruption in their soul. This was the blade that the founder of the Sisters of Battle used to slay Yog Vandai, the arch-heretic who nearly destroyed the Imperium.
I see. She gets a little weepy at this. It's just like, oh, this is like, this is like the Sword in the Stone sort of stuff. Like this is the sort of thing that, fables are made of, I guess. So she grips it, and you get that anime leather grip sound when someone closes their fist, And then she'll turn to face this molesting creature behind her.
All right. So I feel we get this side-on shot as we sort of see this, as it resolves, this black dark wave is just demons climbing over themselves, trying to reach her, and we sort of see Dawn, wings unfurled, sword held high, leaping towards them. And the next thing we see is the Palatine and the sister standing outside the entrance to the tomb, and it's dark now. And this is Palatine. My chrono says that she's been in there for over 6 hours. At what point do we go in there and get her out? It's like, have some more patience. Sometimes these things can take time. And then Palatine look, and as they look towards the cave entrance, they see a figure coming out, and it's Dawn. We can tell, but it's Dawn's face, but she's clad in red power armor, with a with a sword in her hand, and the last thing in that scene we see is like tears on the Palatine's eyes. So I'll quickly give you, Dave. So you have 2 new items, okay? One of them is called the Armor of Saint Helena.
Okay.
Which is... Okay, so it's 11 in all locations, but 12 in the torso.
Well, that just makes it complicated.
What'd you say? 11 in all places and 12 in the torso?
Torso, yeah. It only gives plus 10 strength, not plus 20 like regular power armor. Heavy weapons always count as braced. It is warp weapons can't penetrate it, so it gets its full armor penetration against warp weapons. It gives you plus 10 to resist psychic tests, which stacks with your own resistance to psychic powers.
This is going to be hard to write down.
I'm just telling you. I'll note it for you later.
Okay.
It's fine. And demons within 30 meters take minus 10 on their willpower tests.
Nice.
And the Blade of Admonition is a 2-handed power sword. Its base damage is 2d10 rending, pen 4 balanced and sanctified, and it's got the proven quality, which means any dice roll for damage of less than 3 counts as a 3.
Can you send me the details on all this stuff later? Because I want to.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Wow.
All right. So, meanwhile, the other 3 have turned up to that evening and been conveyed to the temple, which is a huge temple. Like you've been to imperial shrines before. This one is grandiose on a whole other scale, which is odd given that it's like commemorating literally, an arbitrator who died heroically and was sainted by the ecclesiarchy after the fact. But still, it's very sort of ostentatious. And according to like the signage out the front, along with being a temple, it's also like a playhouse. So effectively, like they're in the evening, there are like religious plays, or sometimes what you'd call like passion plays. That are all about to sort of triggering off, certain, emotions like sadness or like, and they're sort of held in a vestibule to the side of the main temple. And tonight is a passion play. You're met by this large, when I say large, he's like 6'4", but also like he's got that weird sort of very muscled but also very overweight look. I almost think like Mick Foley from like wrestling, but I think of like 6'4" Mick Foley almost, but clean shaven as well, and not quite as old as Mick Foley is now. But yeah, in very sort of ostentatious cardinal's robes, and he's got that sort of the like the built-in loud hailer over his shoulder with like an audio pickup, so he can give a speech without needing like a lectern or a broadcasting by just turning it on and having it bled out over his shoulder. Lord Commodore, I take it.
Yes, Governor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I did a little bit of checking in while organizing your transport. You're a rogue trader, yes?
I am, yes.
Please come into my office. I have a dinner arranged and then a production afterwards. We can watch. I have organized a private booth, private box.
Excellent. Sounds quite lovely.
Adrian leans forward and says in Ship's King, it's like, it's a shame Nero isn't here. He would have loved this.
Sorry, what was that?
Our former Master of Ordnance was a great lover of theater.
I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
I think Pierre's like bizarre. It's like it seems like everybody knew this thieves can't, but
Would you believe it? I don't think it actually appeared on my skill list. Either way, if it did, I didn't take it. James, I would like to mind probe the governor.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So, are you
Sorry,
I
would like to mind scan and then probe him.
Yeah, you got to do your scan first. Yeah. So, are you doing it fettered so it's not obvious?
I don't know. That's rough.
All of a sudden, there's just like a glowing tentacle that attaches itself to this dude's head.
Let me ask you a question. When I invoke, it's not obvious, right? Like if I invoke, it's just basically like a quiet moment to myself.
So unfettered, it's obvious.
No, I'm asking about the invocation skill because that will boost my fettered.
Yeah. So usually you just hold on to some sort of fetish, like a psychic.
I have it. My cane is focus.
Yeah, so you might close your eyes or be like it's not. You could be thinking deeply, or you could be invoking. That's not clear as such. But it's not.
I will do it fettered
things.
while invoking. I can make the roll if you want to, but I have over 100 in the skill, so
that's fine. Like it's the penalty for failure is not significant, so there's no need to do the roll here unless you want to roll dice.
Then I fettered with a psi power of 5.
Yeah, that's fine, which is plus 25, I believe. So,
all right. So I've never done this before, so I'm gonna need you to walk.
Okay, cool.
Apparently, I don't need to use Mind Probe. Mind Probe will just tell me like if people are doing telepathic stuff. Sorry, scan. Yeah. I just need to probe his brain.
Yeah, cool. So you're rolling a willpower test at plus 25 for your psi rating.
Okay. It's going to be really tough for him to beat me at plus 25.
You want to avoid getting 9s in either dice.
Right. Well, I'm sanctioned, so it automatically, as long as it's not Perils of the Warp, it just becomes echoing noises.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. You say plus 25. You say.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you succeed and you roll 56, so that's fine. It succeeds though. So.
Well, it's opposed with him, right?
Oh, it is opposed. Sorry. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So. He will have a willpower of say 40.
This whole having essentially a ticking time bomb thing is a little unsettling.
Okay, so he got 0.1 degree of success, so you beat him. Okay. Yep.
So yeah, I'm just gonna start reading his mind. For every round that I maintain it, I get more stuff. But
what do you mean you don't want me to play a wild magic sorcerer? Why not?
So he doesn't like rogue traders particularly. Mm-hmm. In his service thoughts, you pick up that he's currently involved in an investigation, so to speak, about smuggling happening on this planet. So there was previously a heretical cult on this planet that was suppressed and destroyed by Seth at the time, and there's rumors that there is a legal trade in objects of that cult, especially because there are still other Drusian cults that are sanctioned around the sector, and so the original cult that was here was a Drusian cult that was deemed heretical, and so he is just concerned that rogue traders, when they turn up, are part of the smuggling. So he plans to just put Pierre to the question as politely as he can to understand why Pierre is here, since he arrived unannounced. He's just concerned he might be part of the smuggling operation.
Okay. I would like to maintain the probe and keep going deeper.
Okay, no worries.
I want to completely break his mind.
Yeah, break into his mind. Doesn't actually.
No, the last status is just called broken. I'm gonna learn everything. I want to deep dive on this guy.
We lost a Nero, but we gained a Nero.
Suddenly, while you're walking, he just falls over dead.
I mean, he doesn't die. I just get to look through all of his memories.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, we can keep rolling off versus willpower, and whenever I fail is the stage that I stop at.
No, I mean, look, he's not that resistive, I'd say. So, effectively, so there is no real duplicity about this guy. He's not a secret heretic.
Does he have any levels of corruption?
He has no levels of corruption. No.
Okay, that's pretty good.
He has some insanity, but I don't think he's up insanity. What his main concern is that so this planet went through an upheaval over this devotion to Drusus, and now the whole planet is doggedly devoted to Seth, and he's worried about the cycle repeating itself. So the people becoming so enamored with Seth's voice that they, place Seth above the God Emperor, and the whole problem kicks off again. And so he is paranoid about that sort of thing happening. So yeah, everything about his governance is to try and sort of create variety, to try and pull away from sticking to conventions so doggedly as to build up that sort of reliance upon them.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
There are some who would believe that the art of mercantilism is about delivering to a client not what it is they want, but what it is they need. So is there anything that I'm reading in his mind that this crew could solve or potentially deliver or manufacture for him in some way to allow us to pick up a couple of, trade points here, whatever it's called?
So
profit factor.
So there's probably two things you can think of. So in terms of this would be less profit factor, but more just creed bonus would be to say to him, you've got a problem here with smuggling. We know a lot of people. We can go and find out who's doing that and let you know. But that doesn't really convert into trade. That's more sort of favors with the ecclesiarchy. Alternatively, you can say, if you can prove to him that you guys are not involved and you're trustworthy, you can say, well, why don't you put all your trade through us? That way you don't have to worry about smugglers. And anybody that muscles their way into that, you can assume is doing so with an ulterior motive.
All right, I'm on a mind link with the Lord Captain.
Okay. Do you resist, Pondo?
No.
Okay, I still have to focus my psychic power.
Get the Skype ringtone in your head randomly, like.
I'm gonna invoke first, so that I get the +1. So I get and I'm fettered, so 25.
Yeah.
Is your fettered psi strength half of your psi rating?
Yes.
Reduced by 2, isn't it?
Reduced by 2.
No, it's reduced by half. It's half of it.
Oh.
So for 7, it's the half rounded
4.
up. So 7 becomes 4, and then by
+1 for the invocation.
invoking, I get a 5. Yeah, so 4 degrees of success. I actually link in Adrian as well to my mind link, and I privately just let them know, like, oh, it's me, Andrew Chiron, speaking to you directly in your mind. Don't react. I've probed the governor here. He has some very serious concerns. You can hear it in his own words, and I pass along the memory of his hesitancy to them in but a moment. In a blink of an eye, they get the data download. And then I keep walking along. So the whole time, no expression has changed on him, except that his right hand grips his cane a little bit harder because he has to maintain the psi focus the whole time. So there's a very distinct clicking noise as he walks. Smiling the whole time, despite the strain of holding back the immense power of the immaterium.
Interesting.
All right. He takes you to a impressive office, offers you chairs and some food is brought over as well. He's probably put like a table to one side, so you're like a smaller dining table, where it's just the sort of 3 of you plus him dining, and supplements come in and place food down in front of you. So, Lord Commodore, I'm curious as to your reason for visiting Party of Seth. I understand most of your trade is in the Koronus Expanse.
Yes, this was more of a personal stop for one of my senior staff. It was the.
Oh, he says looking at Andronics.
Andrew Chiron. Andrew Chiron is currently trying to figure out how one holds a knife and fork since he hasn't used one in decades. But he looks salivating at the solid food here. He's just like, oh man, I don't know what half of this is. Is that what they call a carrot? But he's not saying any of it out loud. It's just, Yes, Governor, did you require something?
Oh, the Lord Commodore just said that one of you was the reason for coming to Party of Seth.
The one I'm speaking of is not with us at the moment. She's my lead religious advisor.
I see. So you're here doing trade as well, then?
Not in particular, though. I do have interest of bringing trade, especially to shrines and whatnot. I do have a niche market in merchandise of morale boosting and the Emperor praising.
We all love praising the Emperor so much. We revere him so much higher than any other individual on board the ship. Actually, Andrew Kine would have said Godhenberg. that image is burned into his eyes.
Yeah.
Do you get much trade here, Cardinal?
So it's for a large part, we get a lot of pilgrims coming here, obviously. Insofar as what we export is it like small consumer goods. So those that work here often produce charms, votive systems, technology to support the faithful, and that's our export. We also, to keep ourselves sustained, have a strong fishing industry, and our excess is tithed to Scintilla.
I've heard of fish.
That's probably the main course, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Adrian points is like, actually, that's a fish right there.
Andrew Kyron is delighted.
It's how
Actually, no, I should probably, on a planet where fish is the primary produce, the main meal is probably not fish, because that shows you how special it is. But probably like one of the earlier, there's like an entree on it. Sorry, you call entrees something different. An appetizer, sorry, of like small, like pickled or salted fish.
Oh my god, it's fish kimchi. just like 20 different kinds of fish julienne into a container.
Andrew Chiron's gonna be like, his insides are gonna be fucked up after this.
He'd be on the head for a long time there.
Traveler's bug, but like for solid foods.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. This is so tasty. So you don't have any problems with smugglers, do you? I mean, we as a ship have encountered several over the years. Filthy pirates, really.
All right. You probably.
Adrian nods.
I have blather, by the way.
Hatred for pirates clear on his face.
Yeah. Definitely, Pierre. I think Pierre's scrutiny is good enough to pick up this guy sort of, like uncomfortably adjust his collar, as he's. Well, as a matter of fact, we have had some historical issues with unscrupulous types operating through Port Hadley, throwing around wealth in exchange for easy passage of ill-gotten goods.
I completely understand. I recently had to deal with the issue with one of my properties where people were using the area for their own smuggling and other pirate deeds. And of course, I personally have been trying to shift away from the typical rogue tradering or trade ship and more focusing on maybe a means of a mercenary unit in order to help protect the word of the Emperor and its people.
You are as brilliant and grand as your soul is unique, Lord Captain. He's gonna say that with like a tiny bit of fish.
Give me a +10 charm test, please, Pondo.
Wow! Holy shit! Pondo gets to roll a social skill. What are we in the fucking Negaverse?
I think I've rolled more social skills than he has.
Well, that's because we normally just assume he's gonna pass.
Yeah.
Would I get pure noble?
No, only pure ecclesiarchy.
About to land 7 degrees of success on this man and his whole career. Pondo's the governor now.
You're clearly the better man. I defer to you, sir.
Would renowned warrant reply?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm at like a +30 at the moment.
Kind of seems like renowned warrant should work against you.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Wow. Jesus Christ.
That might be the best success we've ever seen outside of an enemy.
Yeah.
No, you shot better.
Yeah.
Oh, I got like 10.1 before, but Nero is a monster.
I'm to the extent of the charm roll, really. That's
Yeah, so all your social shots hit. Well, it's an honor to meet a truly noble member of your profession, Lord Commodore. Maybe if you have ships that come this way regularly, maybe we could make some sort of arrangement. I'd happily transfer much of our trade to your. You have multiple ships, yes? That's what I read.
yes. I at least have 3 ships in orbit now. So if there's in need of something, plus I plan on some point getting just regular mercantile ships.
I'll have in the morning my burgomasters go through and review what we have available that we could ship through you now. At this point, like there's like because you're in his office still, his desk is to one side to the table, and like his phone rings, or like some sort of Vox unit goes off, and he looks across like clearly shocked. He's like, "If you can excuse me, Lord Commodore, I have to take this call." And he gets up without waiting for permission. He gets up and goes over to the phone. It's like,
I think Pierre
Hello?
just gives like a look over to Andro.
Oh, Andro will immediately begin scanning his surface slots.
okay. So,
No shit's given. And clutching he'll stop eating briefly to clutch his psi focus.
Has like a piece of fish just sticking out of his mouth.
No. We did that joke one time. He's a distinguished gentleman of taste.
Okay.
takes a moment to like pat his with the napkin before he starts.
Of course.
So before Andrew Kyron does this role, you also had a conversation pretty much here is, hello, sister, calm down. Sorry, I said it again, and you're absolutely sure? I'll be there as soon as I can get there. And that's when he turns back. Now, Andrew Kyron, give me the roll.
All right, so I didn't include it last time, but when I'm fettered, I have to take a -20 to it. So I'm going to get a +5.
That's true, too. Yeah.
The second thing is that while that conversation takes place, Andrew Kyron is going to lean sideways to Pierre and say, "Do you think the burgermasters will prepare us any cheeseburgers tomorrow?" Now, I know what a burgermaster is, James.
You took the burger right out of my mouth.
my aunt is a burgermaster.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. No, I'm fading that.
You'd also get the +10.
She's going to go a 9 in it, too. So
Yeah.
Go ahead and re-roll that.
Do it well.
I do it great. Did you get? Oh, you gave me a +10. That's 5 degrees of success. So
Yeah.
Good luck. He literally can't make this.
Before the room fills with a blood rain.
Everyone's voices would just start echoing. Jesus, I'm fettered. Holy shit. That's all. Like I'm rising up into the air.
Pretty good. You got nearly 3 degrees of success, but not enough still to stop you. That's fine. So yeah, pretty much the conversation is that a woman clearly moved to tears is on the phone. He tells her to calm down. She says that a miracle has happened, that a saint, a new living saint has emerged from the temple of St. Helena, also for the tomb of St. Helena. He's like, are you sure? Yes, but you have to come now, because basically he's running ecclesiarch. He has to come and verify, basically.
Okay.
Like,
what is this guy's intention?
Well, to go and like this what's happened completely supersedes the meeting you're having right now.
Okay.
The idea of a living saint.
But
emerging on his
he's not
planes.
about to be like, all right, we need to hush this up or anything. Like, I'm just making sure there's no negative.
So when he first hangs up, he's so initially he's like, this is great, I've got to go do this, and then his brain's still ticking out when he hangs up, and he's sort of like, he's going through the motions that it's an imperial secret that the bones of Saint Helena are on this world. So when it comes out now that an imperial saint has emerged, they need to then work out what was the catalyzing event. How did this suddenly happen? Because they can't necessarily refer to the mortal remains because they're hidden here. For example, like he's just in his head trying to work out like what's the press statement? What does this look like?
Ooh.
But
all right. Let me try
It's a
floating this.
routine training mission.
It was a training accident, and
No worries, Brody.
Let me ask you this question, James.
Yeah.
Could we create a cover story that is she became a living saint on Sephira Secundus, where of course there can be no confirmation because of the warp storms, and who knows what happened down there anyway, and that when she came here it was just for confirmation, to meet the ecclesiarch. Is that a story that this guy could be sold?
Yeah, except to anybody who had any idea about your route, like you went from Sephira Secundus to here, you could have either passed through Iacanthus or Scintilla, where more senior ecclesiarchs could have passed judgment. And if it was a question of, well, I wanted to get it verified by visiting the Tomb of a Saint first, well, why didn't you go to St. Drusus World? So that's probably the questions that will be asked. But I mean, at the end of the day, people will be so happy to have a new Imperial Saint that it's only really like the tabloids that would, Okay,
I don't care. That's this guy's problem to figure out. Oh, nice. I thought about extending him a welcome, and then I just go back to eating some carrots that I've chopped up very small, like paper thin.
All right, he goes back to the table. I do apologize, Lord Commodore, but an ecumenical matter has risen I need to deal with.
It would be all right if we joined you.
Oh, come on, Lord Captain. It's not like a miracle has occurred or anything.
Come, I'll have our finest pilot take us over.
Or your shuttles at the other port, though, the other city. So
Okay.
Yeah, but he'll drive.
Please,
we'll have my finest pilot and driver take us over.
You can join me for now, but there may be things I have to do which are exclusive to the church's involvement. So,
what has happened?
I don't want to say until I can confirm.
I think I have an idea what's going on as part of the reason why we're here. Please, come along with us. We'll go together.
Yeah. So he has how you guys are very may not this. So like the Queen of England has like this particular horse-drawn carriage that she's known, like whenever she gets in this, it's like for any sort of parade where she's seen that sort of stuff, that's right, to wave from the window as such. And he has something similar, like he has some sort of like hover palanquin. Yeah, that is effectively it's like the Pope Mill. It's designed to drive at 4 miles an hour while adoring crowds look on. And he's like kicked into high gear, so it's now doing like 6 miles an hour. It's like Nero's golf cart.
Yeah.
Driver, key to speed.
We've hotwired it into rabbit mode.
So yeah, I mean, on the way over, you can definitely he's partial after you with your 9.9 degrees success that he will say, like, I've been told that miraculously an Imperial Saint has arrived on this planet, and a miracle has been witnessed, and as the ecclesiarch of this world, as a cardinal, I must confirm it to the ecclesiarchal mass.
Yeah, Sister Dawn Leteinia, her soul was looking great today.
Yes, that was the main reason why I was brought here. See, amongst my travels, I heard word that perhaps the remains of an old living saint were here, and it seems that the rumor was true.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You've got a few Orky prizes. Do any of your trophy, do you display, do you carry any Orc weapons or have anything Orky?
Oh, he's got the Orc Mega Blaster on his back the whole time. We've just always had his camera angle be so you couldn't see it.
He's just like hunched forward.
It's like a shark fin.
Is that an Orc Mega Blaster in your pants, or you're just happy to see me? It is actually an Orc Mega Blaster.
No, I don't keep any of the Orky things on me.
Okay, I was thinking like Orc teeth or something else, but okay, all right. So.
I have like the peg leg that I might use if I lose my leg. That's how.
Right,
Oh, Nero should have done that. He should have found somebody's arm to replace his arm with.
Please, I can tell you that there are the bones of a saint here, but it is not common knowledge, and nor should it be.
That's understandable. There was an event that occurred when we heard word that the planet Sophia Secundus was taken by a warp storm. That my employee Don got word from the Emperor saying that he could help lead her through the storm.
I would, yeah. Andrew Chiron is just like, I would use the correct terminology in front of the Cardinal, the head of the ecclesiarchy and governor of this planet.
Which part?
The God Emperor, sir.
Oh, sorry, yes, the God Emperor. The God Emperor himself helped lead us through that warp storm to be able to go to Sophia Secundus to escort probably about a couple million people in the transport ship out of there, as well as help alleviate some of the symptoms of said warp storm.
Please, the Lord Commodore is being modest. We saved the planet.
Thank you, Adrian.
I was
didn't
there.
want to say it out loud myself.
I saw it happen. I was present, above the planet.
So he listens to all this. He's impressed by this. Eventually, you do arrive at the hospital, and he starts sort of shopping, and he sort of says, we'll need to attend to a couple of matters first, but if you can just wait here, I'll gather you shortly and take you to her.
Of course.
Very well.
So,
just 1 second. Andrew Chiron is going to turn to the Lord Captain and be like, I apologize. I'm sorry. I only said something because I was worried that he might execute you because we're inside the Imperium. I am prepared and, in fact, looking forward to any punishment you would put out on a filthy mutant like me for trying to correct you, a noble rogue trader.
Would you like me to self-flagellate here? I mean, I can do it in front of you if you want. I can even use your belt if you want, Lord Captain. I mean, if that would be beneficial to you.
I'll pick my own switch if you want me to.
The big one with the spikes.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I don't understand.
I'm sorry. It's all right for now. You're correct in this instance. Just don't let it happen again.
Understood. I will allow you to make your own mistakes at the cost of your own life.
As it should be.
Thank you.
Andrew Chiron just smiles and stands quietly. Please go ahead, James.
So about 15 minutes later, the door opens up and in comes like a couple of novitiate sisters, followed by the two of the palatines, followed by the cardinal, followed by Dawn wearing new armor, followed by several more sisters, who are all sort of like, basking in her apparent radiance. But yeah, to you, it's just Dawn with new armor.
Oh, do I see anything different in the Empyrean about her?
I think so, yeah. I think that there's something that's been fundamentally, in fact, probably even when she doesn't manifest the wings, you still get a sense for them.
Oh, and her accoutrements show up in the warp too, right?
Yeah.
Right, like I wouldn't normally see weapons in the warp, but I would actually see those particular items. So I'd just be like, wow, Sister Dawn, you are looking incredible right now, and nice equipment.
So Dawn will just, look over and say, thank you. Allow me to apologize for my earlier behavior.
No,
I was
please.
in a space that I was not comfortable with.
Feel free to take out any annoyance you have with me. I am forever at the service of the God Emperor's servants, and truly a lowly mutant. I yearn for the touch of death. But it's
every morning I wake up disappointed that I'm not dead. Every morning.
This is like the instance where the guy is wanting to die and he is able to die easily. Whereas compared to Nero, didn't really want to die. It was hard as hell to kill.
So just remember that most of this guy's life has been spent as a fax machine.
Pretty much, yes.
And the one time he could have died, he didn't, and everyone else around him did. He's like, "Damn it, not today."
I was already laughing, but this guy spent most of his life as a fax machine just fucking killed me, dude.
I had a Road Trader game once where when we were playing it, the guy playing the Road Trader sitting next to the person playing the Astropath. He's like, "We need to make a call." And he grabs the other player's two hands and holds one hand up to his mouth, one hand to his ear, and starts talking like he's a soul.
Oh man.
So I just want to fill in the audience that Androchyron is like actually one of the strongest non-Primarch psychers in the
Yeah, I was gonna say, like a fettered of 5 means it's unfettered of like 10, I think, right?
He's a 7. If he pushes himself, he could get like an 11 or 12.
Yeah, which is insane. Like wild.
He's just spent so long amplifying his power.
Yeah, like please, I mean, any punishment, anything at all, I'll take it.
All right, let's cut back to Dawn's big moment when she gets declared a saint.
All right, the cardinal speaks now. I have verified Saint Dawn's. So Dawn, it would not be uncommon for Imperial Saints to take the name of a prior saint as their, like, yeah, obviously they have the name that it's the same way that you may have had a birth name and given a name in the order. It's not uncommon for Imperial Saints to take the name of one of the former heroes of the order. So it's up to you whether you want to stay as Saint Dawn or whether you want to take on a different name or copy one of the other like order hero names as such.
No, I pulled the armor off my corpse.
Okay, no worries. So Saint Dawn. Okay, so I have verified the Saint Dawn's status, and I don't really know what to do next. This is something that I had been trained for, but never really expected to happen. He turns to you, Dawn. What now, sister?
Well, I mean, I have a job to do. Actually, there is something you can do for me. I need a force of sisters to follow me.
So you mean militant
Just
or non-militant sisters?
Militant. There is a reckoning that needs to be brought upon a particular sect of, well, the ecclesiarchy.
Okay. So there are 6 Sisters of the Bloody Rose here, who are the ones that were assigned to guard the bones of Saint Helena. So they're the only militant sisters here. They will come if you ask, for sure. Yeah, they'll need
only if they want. Like I won't.
Yeah, they do want to come. I mean, they figure you're going from here to there to reap holy vengeance. So once their job there is done, they can return to the duty of guarding these bones. But it's like they can't not hear the summons of a living saint.
Dawn, you also have the Repentia squad that we still have around.
Oh yes, I haven't forgotten about them. They will be joining us. And in fact, if anything, this will be a greater service to them than anything that they've done previously.
I just want someone to make some really like mundane ship thing now. It's like, oh, and don't forget, Dawn, you're on dishes tonight. So
do not worry. I have seen the chores list on the latrine doors.
Don, it seems like you lost a poker tonight. I'm sorry.
We all spun the chore wheel.
So you mentioned something about unfurled wings. Is that something I can do now?
Yeah, so you can spend a fate point to gain flyer 12 for an hour.
Jesus Christ. All right. That's awesome. Does this armor have a jetpack or not really?
No.
Okay. Well,
Your wings are your jetpack now.
yeah. No kidding.
Oh yeah.
Holy vengeance.
So you're saying that this armor could sprout wings, and we know that the person who wore this armor was broken because they died. Thank you, Spoon. You got there. And I think maybe James as well. Sorry.
I know you've been throwing those lyrics out the entire time in the chat. So
a decade I've been throwing out Mr. Mister's amazing hit, but that's fine.
I mean, technically, probably really almost 4 decades now. But
No, but I've only been doing it since Vice City, which is where I first heard it. I'm sorry, Sister Dawn. Did you say that you gambled?
always. It is a vice that I partake in.
Cards, perhaps?
Anything with numbers,
We should play sometime.
you will lose.
I would be honored to lose to you. Being defeated would bring me the greatest pride. Oh, living saint.
I feel like it's going to be even harder to get actual competitive gambling done. It's not a conversation for here. I turned to the cardinal and I was like, thank you for confirming. We must make...
Please. I've been practicing.
Oh? What do you mean?
I think Pondo was speaking for the cardinal there.
Oh, okay. So, every morning I wake up and I'm just like, you're a saint. You're a saint now. Lord Captain, if it behooves you, perhaps we can make haste so that I can deal with my unpleasant past as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
So I look at the armor and sword that I'm holding. I was like, you're going to have to excuse me, Cardinal. These armaments are clearly from a fallen hero. Do you mind if I borrow them for my lifespan?
They've clearly been bestowed upon you by the saint herself.
Very well. I will take good care of them.
I'm going to turn to Adrian as we walk away and say, so what is it that you do here exactly?
I fly the ship.
Oh.
I mean, just about any ship, really. Or jetpack, or
Sure.
skimmer, or hover bike, or...
That's a very important job.
Yeah, I agree.
We should get going so that way Dawn can get ready for her vengeance.
Yeah. Well, I think as you guys set off, that's probably a good place to finish up because we know where we're going. We can go straight into the action next time. And hey, I want to thank my co-GMs today, Arthur, Spoon, and Pondo. Since there was a conversation on Discord about co-GMing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you bringing that back now.
Yeah.
I tried to take some liberties with my environmental descriptions. So
you did, and I appreciate it.
I was told I needed to convey some information, and I got as many bullet points over as I thought I needed to. Dawn had already guessed, some of them. So, I mean, what kind of code GM would forget to pass along a bullet point?
I read all mine. So that's the thing.
That's not what I heard from James. I didn't read your guys's. So whatever I heard from you was fresh for me.
Yeah. The last thing was that to tell Dawn to look around at the bodies to try and work out what they have in common, to work out how to pass through the fire.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I've been
Wow.
trying to read this from out of third person view into first person view,
Yeah.
which has kind of screwed with me a little bit.
I
So
understand.
I missed that was probably a point that I should have told her. So
That's all right. Everything worked out well in the end.
I like how Dawn kept treating Nero as if it was really Nero.
Yeah. Like, just like, oh God.
I didn't use the accent. I did everything I could.
We just got rid of this guy.
I was going to put into my notes that, like, you know, the important thing is these apparitions have to be the way that Dawn remembered them. So in which case Nero needs to annoy her. But then I thought, I don't need to say that. It'll just happen.
So I just my understanding is that Dawn would see probably Pierre as a lounging eccentric type.
Yeah, as like a useless
Useless.
hedonistic noble.
I like how we both came to the word
like-
useless.
John B, bring me some more wine and grapes.
Like all he cares
Right.
about is business.
Occasionally firing pisses off in random directions.
yeah.
I mean, Dawn's opinion of Pierre is probably changing quite quickly since that last conversation we had about, you know, actually conversing with each other rather than just being like, you know, acquaintances that pass each other.
Mm-hmm.
So Dawn, we're doing this. Okay.
So, you sure don't want some feedback on the ecclesiarchy? Nope, I'm good. So, okay.
This is something that blew me away. This is actually in canon, that when living saints die, they go to a pocket realm in the warp where they have to effectively will themselves back into existence.
Like every time
Celestine.
Wolverine dies, he has to go fight the Angel of Death in the
What?
comics.
Is that real?
In like one run of the comics, it was he had to go fight. I don't remember who it ended up being, but they called him the Angel of Death.
So, did I die down there? Is that the
No,
okay.
because it would have been slightly different if you died. In that you would have started off not knowing who you were and had to be told who you were by the others first, literally starting as a tabula rasa.
Okay, interesting.
So did we lose all the armor and stuff that she had?
No. Someone went back in and picked it up.
So she just like
So at some point, I was walking down the hallway, just getting naked. You know, just like yeah.
It's
Going
not
crazy.
it's not thematically important to know what happened. It just happened.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
fair.
And her old armor went the same place Superman's clothes do when he's flying.
True. Or somehow the pants stay on Hulk, but nothing else does. Yeah.
Right.
I was
Yep,
actually just
exactly.
watching that. During the break, I was watching the scene where that happened. Where he, in Avengers, where he crashes through the building and the guy goes, "Son, you've got a condition."
I'm showing my kids the Marvel Cinematic Universe films at the moment, and we're up to watching Thor 1, like the original first Thor, and it's just like I feel like it's not a strong movie for young kids.
Yeah.
Everything.
The original Thor stuff are like kind of really bad, actually. Like
Just
They
point
do a
at the
good
Warriors
job.
3 and be like, they'll replace one of those actors in the next movie and you won't notice.
Yeah, Dark World is my bottom.
Yeah,
of all the
it's
MCU
easily
films.
the worst.
It is
Um,
not great. Like the first Thor, it's it's okay. It's
they have like a
solid.
couple of scenes which you can see the Marvel, you know, gizzards in it, basically, a little bit before they got what, like they were just like, oh, let's do what we did for Iron Man for Thor, and it was like kind of not working. I don't know, but it's kind of funny watching all those movies in chronological order because you kind of start off with like Marvel, Captain Marvel, I think is the first one,
Yeah.
or something like that,
Well,
and
Captain America.
Captain America. Well, it starts off good, and then it goes to Marvel, Captain Marvel, and it's like then there's like a period in the middle where it just sucks, and then near the end it gets good again. Like
I always thought that Captain America, the first Avenger, was like it's just a solid C movie to me.
It's not
Like,
good.
It's
Hard
Yeah,
to say it's
like-
not good.
It's one of the things where, because they film them out of order, so you've got the thing where if you watch them in chronological order, not everything makes sense. Like you watch Now What If, anytime something goes wrong in What If that they didn't know what to do, they just call Captain Marvel. It's like, get the pager out, call Captain Marvel. And it's like so many things that happened before Captain Marvel's page was established in the setting.
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't they call Captain Marvel for that?
Yeah. Like, when Loki shows up, like, where the hell is Captain Marvel then? Like,
I have to say that out of the first generation, Iron Man 2, and Avengers were the solid watches, and everything got better after that, which is funny because Avengers 2 was not great.
That's the one with the robot man?
Yeah, it's Ultron.
Ultron.
Yeah,
So,
that kind
in
of
fact,
stink.
Ross Watson, who is the creator of Rogue Trader, I had a conversation with him once about Marvel Universe, and he has this really great opinion that Marvel just threw shit at the wall until something stuck, and that was Iron Man 1.
Yes.
And as soon as they hit the perfect form, it's like, okay, that's it. Everything else aside, let's just keep doing this. As long as people keep going, we'll keep making it.
Mhm.
Whereas DC, even they get a winning formula, they still change it up later on just to try different things. Yeah.
Well, who's the guy who did Dune? Dennis Villeneuve or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it sucks. They're all the same. And I'm like, no, they're all the same. And that's why it's great, because we know exactly what we're about to watch. We know that we're going to watch Iron Man. Well,
Yeah,
now,
I mean,
not
it's
now,
just-
because, he's dead, but
it's like, it's different flavors of ice cream, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's still
you,
ice
you-
cream.
You know, it's ice cream.
I don't know. I thought the biggest departure was probably when they went to the first Guardians of the Galaxy was a big departure because it became a
No, it's a
group
comedy. It was
flick.
great.
Yeah.
Well, and that was them. They discovered the next winning formula. And
Yeah,
Well-
but then after that, I think the next one was like Thor Ragnarok, and that was just like like if all Marvel movies are like that, I'll be very happy, right? Like I don't want the serious superhero movie anymore, like I don't want that. I mean, you can bookend every 10 years with a serious one, but like as long as it ties all together, just keep them all lighthearted. That's the secret.
So can we now say what we thought about the end of What If?
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I'm still not quite done. I
All
just
right,
finished
I'll say
the,
this. I think it would have been a lot better if they hadn't canceled the 10th episode. Tony and Gamora on Sakaar. Because when they show up in the last episode, it's just like, who the fuck are these people? Gamora doesn't even have the right voice actor. It's so annoying.
Because I said to my wife, every single one was referenced except you had one that wasn't referenced, then you had the Loki and Ant-Man one, which nothing from that one came around. So
yeah, but that would I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Okay.
I gotta I gotta get out of here. 'cause I gotta
Let's
go,
start doing some outros then.
Yeah.
I've been Andrew Kyron. I am here to seek the cold oblivion of death, to finally end my eternal suffering in the service of the God Emperor. You can find me at youtube.com/Andrew Kyron, where I upload my daily vlog using my mind to explain all of the horrible things happening to me.
Yeah,
Pondo,
still
who are
alive,
you?
Not dead yet. Check back tomorrow.
It's the most popular vlog channel in 12 sectors. Pondo, who are you?
I am Ponder of Ponder the Mad. You can find me on YouTube or Twitch /Ponder the Mad, or you can find me here, Saturday nights with Rogue Trader. Occasionally with Ranch Simulator whenever it comes out. And soon after the 14th with Dawn Agreement. Yeah. And if you need to get a hold of me for something, you can always find me on AP's Discord or, Discord, Ponder the Mad, yada, yada.
Spoon, who are you?
I am Big Spoon. You can find me at Twitter over at BigSpoon223. I'm here Saturday nights for Rogue Trader. Then Solaris Nights, which I just had an episode.
Oh, you're gonna have an episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Also going to have that episode, which was set up by this previous episode. And then Dawn Agreement next week. And then I'm all over the Discord, so.
You may not know this, but Pondo and Henley have episodes next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to double check my time again because I've already forgotten what time it was. Like Thursday at like
Thursday at 4.
something.
You're right after Pondo.
Yep.
Thursday at 10 p.m. I think that is for me.
Sure.
I want to say.
Mutate Nero. I am pretty sure Andrew Kyron is not like Nero.
Oh, you have the same voice. So
I did the thing where you prove how much your character isn't like the other character by immediately dunking on something they love vis-a-vis nulls. By treating them as sewer rats. James, I'm not jumping to you. I'm actually juking around you. I just wanted to ask how much XP we got before jumping over to Dave.
It's still 500 today. It's a big one.
Right.
Character arc.
Sure. I actually now speak Road Trader tongue and every other tongue.
I heard it once and now I can fucking nail it every time.
I literally just vocally mimicked now them. Dawn, let's do you.
Hello, everyone. I am Dave, aka Dawn. Good episode. I feel like it was really. I've had a lot of problems with sort of finding a position to put Dawn in this game, like because I don't know enough about the universe to like confidently say something, and that's always been like that'll always be a problem. Even like it's a problem in this game. It's a problem in what's another one like Vampire the Masquerade I had that problem as well. But you know, generally speaking, you can kind of play like a bumbling idiot in VTM, but in this one you can't really do that because there's a presumed knowledge and like you grew up in a world where you should know these things. And I guess now it kind of like if I walk into something and I don't understand something, it's not so much going to be a problem anymore, I don't think, right? I mean, hypothetically, because I can just, you know, unfurl the wings and be like, "Sup, bitch," you know.
Look at my saintliness. And
exactly, yeah. So, I think it's going to be quite fun, and it definitely feels like the oh, now I get the rocket launcher at the end of the game. Okay. That's what it kind of feels like a little bit. So, yeah. But all in all, really fun game. Excited to you know, keep playing. Rank 7 finally, lads. By the way, can I just say, we made it. We made it. But yeah, that's me. Thanks for watching. Oh, go buy my new game. It's called Wet Nightmares. It's on itch. It's good. It's good stuff. Selling really popular. Yeah.
From Dark James.
Remember Dark James. I had a good time tonight as well. This was a fun game to write, and once again, thank you to the others who I sent info to, and they played their parts to perfection. I do enjoy these sorts of unusual games sometimes where I mix up who plays what and what they do, but I don't do it too much because it gets confusing. But otherwise, you can find me back here next week for more Rogue Trader. I'm also in Dawn Agreement. My first show was this week past, which means the next one will be in a couple of weeks' time. And that I'm running Curse of Strahd tonight, but not in any sort of public format. So wish me luck.
Good luck.
All right, James, I have to tell you, instead of learning to speak all languages, I decided that being able to destroy the surface of a planet was more important, so I decided to take that power instead.
Exterminatus in a can.
Have a good night, audience.